Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and it's been almost 2.5 years. Actually, it has been 2.5 years. We are finally in the land of extreme. We have reached ECW. I've been excited for this for quite a while. It's ECW Barely Legal, the very first ECW pay-per-view. We're going to be talking about that today with my co-host, Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, how are you, bro?
I'm good, Ray. I'm good. Were you excited? Was it everything that you thought it was gonna be?
You know,
Wait, actually, before you answer that, was this the first time you watched the Barely Legal full?
No, I saw it. I own the DVD. They put this out on DVD
Mm.
like a year before they went under, and I got it at Coconuts or Suncoast, whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
And I remember putting, oh my, I can't believe they put this on DVD. This is so hard to get, and I put it on. I remember being like, that's okay. And
That's
I,
how I felt. That's how I felt.
my
This
opinion,
was my first time watching it.
my opinion has gotten worse in the past 25 years. This is a horrible show. This was not a good first. If a I feel like if you were a WWE hardcore and you ordered this in 1997, you never ordered it again. This was not a good representation of what ECW did well. This was a really bad show. I'm just gonna say it was really bad. It's not good.
Okay. I don't think it's as bad as you were saying it is. I've seen worse first shows. Like I guess you could say like GCW's first time at the Hammerstein was awful. That was like
Yeah,
way
but
worse.
that's not. This is higher stakes than the GCW Hammerstein show. You know,
That was a pretty high stakes shows for them. That was like their coming out party. Do you remember
this
that?
is them. Yeah, this is them. Like, there's finally a third company. This is like this company's supposed to replace AWA as the third company with this show, and I feel like
It,
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't as bad as I think. I don't think it was as bad as you say it is, but this was my first time watching it full,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I will agree that it was a letdown. It's
Yeah,
not it's not as good as some people will think it is. It's very average. It's an average show. And I think maybe if you have your standards are too high, your
hold on.
hopes are too high,
Hold on. Let me take this. Hold on.
take
Let
what?
me this phone call. Let me take this.
I'm gonna step. Oh.
Andrew, you there?
Yeah, give me a second.
So annoyed I did that,
That's
guys.
okay. Go
No, like before we continue, because I'm just gonna keep this on the podcast. There's some weird guy bothering me, and I thought it was him, and it was the wrong number, and I've never gotten a real wrong number from that state before. Anyway, I'll tell you about that real off the air. Okay,
okay.
so now, um, this show. Continue what you were saying. Your thoughts.
I think if you have your hopes up too high, then it's gonna be like you're gonna be like, this is awful. But if you go into it just going like, let's just see what they have, then you're gonna be like, yeah, it was an average show. It's not the worst thing you're gonna see. I've seen WCW put out way worse pay-per-views so far.
I
So
know, and
yeah,
and they get
but
better.
yeah,
ECW Heatwave '98 is a great show. Anarchy Rules '99 is a great show. So these shows do get better. You know, the thing that Bruce Pritchard said to Paul Heyman back then, because Bruce Pritchard watched this whole thing, and and Paul Heyman asked him, "What do you think?" He goes, "I think you screwed yourself." And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Like, your TV show is great because you just do highlights and promos, and this had no promos and no highlights. It's just the show. So now when people just see the show unedited for 3 hours, they're going to realize you don't have a lot going for you, and you expose yourself in the worst way possible." And I kind of agree with him with that.
yeah, I could kind of see that. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, before we get into it, are we gonna count this in the thing where we go, hey, like who had the better show of them but who had a
Yeah,
better
but I
pay.
can already tell you if it was between Spring Stampede and Barely Legal, Spring Stampede wins. So this will either be second or third place. So either WCW or WWE is going to win for April.
So right now, WCW is 7, WWF is 2, and we got
Mhm.
tied 2. Right?
Yeah, I
That's
think if
our number so
ECW
far.
wins a month, if ECW wins a month, I think we should just count that towards the tie. So if the ties win at the end, ECW is the best company. What do you think about that?
Sure, I can see that. Yeah, because
I
they
don't
have a
think
hand.
ties are going to win because once Vince Russo shows up in WCW, I don't see. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe my opinion will change, but I don't see WCW beating WWF in any pay per view battle after Russo shows up. So.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I didn't realize this. I just looked it up and I found out. I thought from this point on, ECW is going to be doing a pay per view up per month, like
No,
WCW.
they never do.
They don't. They're going to do it sporadically. So after this one, we're not going to get another ECW pay per view for a while. So it,
This costs a lot of money to do. The other thing, Andrew, it was
mhm.
extremely hard. This is the thing that you have to give them credit for this show. It was extremely hard for them to get on pay per view. It wasn't like you could just call them and be like, I want to be on pay per view. They're like, oh yeah, sure. He had to really prove that he belonged on pay per view. These companies were a monopoly, and and there were people against him. There was I think some dirt sheet writers sent footage of the crucifix angle with Salmon and Raven, and some cable companies were like, no, we're not going to put you on pay per view, and he had to persuade them that that was just a one time thing. This was a battle to get on pay per view. It wasn't easy. I didn't even in '97. I'm saying even Tony Khan with his $19 bazillion couldn't just walk up to pay per view companies and be like, I'm putting on AEW. You had to fucking prove it, and the fact that he got on that in itself is a miracle. Unless Junior was
I'm gonna say that's why right now, even this day, Tony Khan with his connections and his, his billions of dollars, and proving that he has AEW been on network television for 5 years, still can't get a deal for Ring of Honor, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
because even that is hard. Even with all those credentials, you have to prove that product you have is worth it, right? You can't just
Mm-hmm.
be like, wrestling's hot. I got wrestling. Let me get on pay-per-view. It doesn't work that way. And so yes, kudos to Paul Heyman for getting this on pay-per-view, but maybe next time do a better job.
He does in '98. He does better jobs in '98. I don't know, but I've never seen the other two '97 shows. But no, I'm glad it's not every month because then we'd be
This
fucking 60. We'd be
yeah.
60 before we got to 2001.
Yeah. So let's talk about Barely Legal. Takes place April 13th, 1997 at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia. 1,170 people were in attendance, and it drew 60,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, it's not bad. Obviously, it's not going to do Spring Stampede numbers or WWF numbers in April.
That's better than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah. So if you want to see a little comparison, Spring Stampede, April 6th, had over 8,000 people and had 210,000 buys, right? WWF, they're in your house, had over 11,000 people, 1,100 people in attendance, 142,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's a lot less, obviously, but you
I'm
thought
surprised.
60,000. I mean, 60,000 people still bought it.
I have a feeling those 60,000 people bought all three pay-per-views. I think they were like lunatics. I would have bought all three if I was into wrestling. Because in 2000, I start buying all three when I get cable. By the way, even if I loved wrestling in '97, I couldn't buy the pay-per-views. I didn't have cable. So, but I think those 60,000, I would put all my money in the world. Those 60,000 people also ordered Spring Stampede and Revenge of Taker.
I wonder how much it was. How much was ECW Barely Legal on pay-per-view? How much was it?
Yeah, let's see if we can find it there. I'm going to say 20.
$20. Let's see.
I think it's a fair price. Andrew, get more a little bit in frame, Moose.
No, I'm looking for it. Sorry, it's like I don't know how much it was. It was $0. I have no idea. I'll look it up. I don't want to. I don't want to look it up right now.
I think it was 20. I think it was 20. I think he could not have charged 30 like the other companies. I think 20 is a fair price because not a lot of people know what this is yet. I think you can't charge more than that. I think 20 is like I has to. I don't know. I mean, if you charge 30, I think getting 60,000 to pay 30 for this is a huge accomplishment. I think, you know.
Yeah, I think so. But regardless of how much it cost, it was
Oh, wait a
60.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I remember they were like usually in 2000, they were usually like $5 less. So they weren't 30. I think they were like $25. Because I remember I ordered them in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered all the pay-per-views in 2000. So yeah, it was probably like 25 bucks.
20, $25. Yeah, that's still pretty good, right? That's still pretty good. I don't know how this guy what did you think he did with all that money?
Oh, he stole it. I mean, everyone lost money except for him. He stole it. He kept it to himself and lied to everybody and said the cable companies didn't pay me. And Tommy Dreamer, like Max, like lost all his money. Tammy Sitch and Chris Candido lost their house because they maxed out their credit cards for him. Taz lost. They all lost money. They all lent this guy money and lost it. Sabu's dead because he had to wrestle Joey Janela because he had no money. Nobody made any money on this but Paul Heyman. And there's like Paul Heyman has probably his cousin probably has like an account with all the fucking ECW money that no one ever saw, and they use it to like buy hookers.
Paul Heyman, man, what a carny through and
Yeah.
through. All right, so let's get to this pay-per-view. We begin with just a cold open to Joey Styles in the ring. No introduction. He's just in the ring, and the crowd is chanting ECW. And there is a Eric Bischoff takes it up the ass sign right in the front of the crowd. I loved that. That was really funny. Great sign, by the way. I'm gonna do that. I just love pointing out these like really fun. Like you can't have a sign like that anymore. Unfortunately, you
No,
know,
no,
like
yeah.
Eric
Not
Bischoff
even
takes.
in GCW, I think they would let you show that.
Yeah, too bad. I know. I love it.
Well, you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is though now, Andrew? Like we just laugh about it and move on. Nowadays, let's say you're at JCW and someone has a sign that says Tony Khan takes it up the ass. Some account is gonna post it on Twitter. They're gonna make a big stink about it, and Tony Khan's gonna see it because he sits on Twitter like a lunatic, and then he might try to fuck you business wise because you show that sign. So
What if you wrote like TK takes it up the ass?
Tony's gonna know what that is. Come on. He used to go to
But
ECW events as a child.
yeah, but you can, yeah. I actually want to see if I can spot a like. I think how old was he during this period? Like 16, 15,
Yeah.
15, 16?
Did he go to Barley Legal? I know he used to go to ECW arena shows.
He had to be 15 or 16, right?
Yeah.
So when we watch these, we should look at the crowd and see if we see some crazy-eyed 15, 16-year-old kid. That's probably going to be him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so let's just keep our eyes open for that. But anyway, Joey Styles in the ring, and the Dudley boys. We got Bubba and Devon and Sign Guy Dudley and Joe Gertner. They come out to the ring, and the fans are chanting the Dudley suck, Dudley suck, fuck you, Devon chants. This crowd is crazy. If you're just starting this, it does feel like a great pay-per-view just because of the crowd. The crowd is what really makes ECW. And Devon starts cutting a promo, but there's feedback issues with his microphone. He does say testify. And after that, it leads to the intro video of the graphic of Barely Legal. And then Joe Gertner, he gets in the microphone. He starts talking some more. But it's going to lead to our first match, okay?
Yeah.
Before we get into our first match, anything you want to say about the crowd or the intro?
It is interesting that they're chanting "fuck you, Devon," and Devon was the talker. Bubba Ray was not the talker yet. He was the sidekick. Yeah. And it's very interesting because as things progress, Devon just stands there, and Bully Ray just talks and talks and talks. Now you can't shut this fucking guy up. He's on busted open.
Yeah, it's very true. They switched roles, and now he can't shut the fuck up. And what do you call it? That's very true. That's like that. I can't wait to see when we see that switch happen, where Bubba Ray just can't stop talking. I was like, oh, this is the beginning.
Hmm.
But we're gonna go to our first match. It's for the tag titles. The Dudley Boys are the champions. They're gonna face the Eliminators, which are Perry Saturn and Cronus. And Sign Guy Dudley, he attacks them from behind, but then he gets hit with finishing move, the total elimination, and the match begins. You hear Bubba Ray Dudley yell, "Motherfucker!" And then he power bombs Kronos, and then all men in the ring at the same time. They're in every guy is in the ring the whole time. There are like basically no tags. Like Jim Ross would be fucking losing his shit if he was watching this. Like, oh, where's the tag? The ref's got to do his job. But that's just what it is. The Eliminators hit dueling, twisting top rope splashes on both Dudleys when the Dudleys are outside the ring. Kronos launches Saturn over the top ropes onto the Dudleys to the floor, and then Kronos dives on them as well. The Eliminators hit the Dudleys with a springboard top rope moves, and then they hit total elimination on Bubba Ray Dudley to win the tag titles. This is the third tag championships for the Eliminators. Well, Joe Gertner gets on the microphone and he goes, "Actually, the Dudleys boys won by score." And he eats a total elimination for that. Good way to start the show. Keeps the crowd happy. I gave this a B. Not a bad match.
Really? I did not like that. I thought this match was the Dudleys would just stand there while the Cronus and the other guys, Saturn, just awkwardly set up the spot, and then they do the spot. It just felt very like they would hit Bubba Ray once, and then he would stand there for 5 minutes while Cronus and Perry Saturn got somewhere, and then they do the spot, and then the crowd would be like, "Yay!" And then Devon would come in, and they would like body slam Devon, and he would just lay there dead while they spent another 20 minutes like setting up, and then they do this, and that was like the whole match. And I don't know, I just thought it was very like it was like I'm gonna hit you once so you can just stay in place while I get ready to like jump on my fucking head.
You're not exactly wrong, right? Right? You're not exactly wrong, but it was like a fun way to start the show because this
I mean,
opening match is this opening match is already letting me know that this is because think of it this way. Let's say it's your first time watching ECW, just first time checking it. It's on pay-per-view. I like wrestling. Let me just buy this and watch it. You're seeing there's no tags, everybody's in there at the same time, everyone's just doing crazy moves. They're telling you that this is different from what you already know. This is gonna be vastly different. And just get ready for the ride. And the crowd's super into it. It leaves the crowd happy. It just like was like, yeah, this is a good opening match. Is it the best wrestling match I've ever seen? No, definitely not. But the moves I thought that the Eliminators hit were pretty good. And I don't know, just set everything up. It was a very good, fun match for the crowd. I thought fun opening match. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know. Maybe you know what it is. I think also like if I'm sitting around in 1997 and I haven't seen ECW, this is probably blowing me away. But I do kind of feel like this leads to like shitty Young Buck matches 20 years from now. Like it's the prototype, you know. So maybe I'm just like a little bit more annoyed because I've seen a lot of bullshit in AEW and TNA that I'm like whatever about. So this is, but I feel like yeah, you're right. 97. If this is your first year, like whoa, wow, look at that fat guy jumping. Oh, you know.
yeah, that's okay. I see your point. Yeah, but you gotta look kind of like past that because
I'm saying like maybe in '97 it would be more impressive to me. You're right. You're right.
yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
You have to
So
like if you are a fan. Last month you saw fucking the new Blackjacks stumble and bumble to the ring, and now you're seeing these guys like jump it through tables. You're like, oh my god, you know, it's definitely better.
yeah. By the way, Sign Guy Dudley, he's gonna have a pretty good long career in wrestling behind the scenes. Like this guy who works.
He's still in AEW.
Is he in AEW?
Yeah, he's like the travel. He's like one of the travel guys or something. He has like
this Sign Guy Dudley. He worked in He worked in ECW. He'll work in WWE. He'll work in TNA, and he got fired from TNA in May of 2024, so just last year. So I didn't know he was hired by AEW, but I believe you. It's like this guy is just like one of those people who's just like he's in wrestling for a really long time, you know? So
Yeah, I think he's still with AEW, like
that's
in a
that's insane to me that this guy, Sign Guy Dudley, is like in wrestling this long. That's insane.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's basically outlasted Perry Saturn, right?
He's outlasted Vince McMahon. Oh.
Yeah, he's outlasted Vince McMahon. If he's with AEW, he's outlasted Vince McMahon Jr. That's very funny. We get a really cool after this match. We get a really cool Sandman montage, and then
Oh,
Joey
that's not
Styles.
on my DVD. That's not on my DVD. That's funny.
Oh, okay. It's on the Peacock. It's a good montage. I see they set it up pretty well. Like, hey, this is the Sandman.
I'm wondering, yeah, because I'm wondering if the DVD is a different cut of things because because the DVD was they sold it, so I'm wondering, you know, in stores. So yeah, I don't have this. It goes right after that match. My cut goes right to Lance Storm and RVD.
Oh, so I'm gonna tell you some stuff that happened. Um, there's actually a lot of stuff that happens that you missed. That okay. So
Okay.
after we get the Sandman montage, it's like a music video of the Sandman. Joey Styles, we get a camera shot of Joey Styles, and he's telling us Chris Candido was
Oh yes,
actually.
yes. That actually that is on the show. I'm sorry. And
Oh,
Chris
okay.
can promo on the show.
Okay, yeah. So he tells us Chris Candido was actually supposed to be on this pay-per-view, but he injured his bicep and he can't work in the ring. But he's here now. So Chris Candido with his arm in a sling, he goes to the ring and he starts talking. He was like, I was at WrestleMania and I won the tag belts at WrestleMania,
Yeah, on
and
the
now I
pre-show.
came back. Yeah, yeah, he doesn't mention that part. He doesn't mention the pre-show. And he goes, but I decided, fuck that place. I'm back home and I'm pissed off. I'm annoyed. I'm not on this card. Why am I not on the pay-per-view? And he starts cutting a promo on the entire roster. And then he leaves, basically a heel promo. And as he's leaving, Lance Storm is coming in because Lance Storm is basically taking his place. They shake hands in the aisle, and Lance Storm goes. And as he's passing by, you see that Lance Storm. He looks exactly like how he would in like WWE, except for he has this like stupid rat's tail on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So ugly. I'm so glad he got rid of that. That looked awful. That looked.
Yeah, because his look in general, his ring gear is fine, and his look in general is fine. That just like adds like, what are you doing? Like that just
That
ruins
was
everything.
hideous. Yeah, it was hideous. It was like when I saw that, I had to like stop it and go, wait, what did I just see? Let's go back. And I was like, oh my God, that is disgusting. Thank God Lance Storm got rid of that. Match number 2, Lance Storm versus Rob Van Dam. He comes out, he's getting a "You Sold Out" chant. I'm not sure why. Why is he getting a "You Sold Out" chant?
So his gimmick was he had a really good match on Monday Night Raw, and the rumor was, I don't know if they made this up or whatever, but the rumor was that they wanted to sign him over. And Rob Van Dam talked about that on TV. And he kind of started playing up that he was actually a representative of WWF. And he was always, I'm going to go to WWF. It's just a matter of time. And then I think he got an offer from WCW. And he also said that on TV, that WCW called it. So then he started, his nickname was Mr. Monday Night. And because it was like at any moment I could show up on Raw or Nitro, one of the better companies, I don't even want to be here. It's so funny now, like when I got in 1998, they were still calling him Mr. Monday Night, and his promos were like, "I'd rather be on Raw or Nitro." And it's funny now because he's now Mr. Rah Rah ECW, but the character was like, "I need to go somewhere better."
Yeah, that's very interesting. All right, so it's kind of like Steve Carino.
MJF. Well, no, it's like MJF, like the bidding war, I'm going to leave. Tony Khan's a mark, and now he's like Rah Rah AEW. You know?
No, but what I meant is like when Steve Carino first comes into ECW, he's supposed
Yeah,
to
he
be
shits
like,
on.
oh, he shits on the style, and he's like, I'm representing the old school stuff, but then he's the most synonymous with like some of that bloody style. You
Yeah,
know,
bad.
right? Like he changes it. It becomes like, oh, this is when you think gory ECW matches. He's one of the people I think about, Steve Corino. So that's very
The Jerry Lynn wiping Steve Carino's blood, which we'll cover in the year 2000. So
I don't think I want to watch those. Ugh, but I guess I'm
no,
gonna have to.
that match is, dude. That match is not that bad. I know what you're thinking with the taking the blood and putting it in the chest. That's like the one. It's actually it's a real match. It's a good match. I remember that being a really good match.
I don't like a lot of blood. I just don't like it.
I don't like it either, dude. You know me. I don't like those fucking women matches AEW does. But this isn't that bad. It's worse in your head than what actually. So you'll see.
Okay.
You'll see. You gotta
You know
watch
what?
it.
Yeah. And speaking of things not being that bad, this match is also not bad. Landstorm versus Rob Van Dam. Where can you go wrong? A lot of good back and forth. Storm misses a floor plancha, and then Rob Van Dam he hits a moonsault off the guardrail onto Lance Storm while they're on the floor, and then he throws a chair at Lance Storm's face. He hits his frog splash back in the ring, but only gets a 2 count. So then, because of that, Rob Van Dam re-throws another chair right into Lance Storm's face. And then Lance Storm, to return the favor, reverse slams Rob Van Dam onto the chair. Storm starts firing back, sit out powerbomb on the chair, then a top rope leg drop onto the chair. Rob Van Dam low blows Lance Storm and then crotches Lance Storm on the top ropes. And then he slips doing this back elbow drop while he hits Lance Storm, and the crowd starts chanting, "You fucked up." I love this crowd, by the way. This crowd is awesome. Lance Storm starts doing some really weak chair shots, and the crowd starts booing him for these chair shots. These are some weak ass chair shots, and the crowd just starts booing him. And then Rob Van Dam hits the Van Daminator on Lance Storm. He does a backflip splash to win the match. More you sold out chance for Rob Van Dam, who gets on the microphone and he says, "I don't want any respect from any of you guys, okay? I don't want that." And Lance Storm, because Lance Storm tries to go shake his hand. He goes, "I don't want to shake your hand. I don't know. I don't need your respect either." So Lance Storm calls him an asshole, and then he leaves. And fans chant, "Get the fuck out" at him. Very fun, good match. It's I didn't like that there was like no rules. Like you could just use chairs and low blows and nobody calls it. I didn't like that, but I'm just like, it is what it is now. In ACW, it still didn't really take away too much from the match. I gave it a B. What did you think?
Yeah, so with ECW, you have to get over like that. There's no rules right away. You just have to just accept it. Like that's never
I
been
did.
changed.
Yeah, I just accepted it right away.
Yeah, that can't, like, to me, like there's a lot of criticisms for ECW matches, but they're just not gonna have rules. So I thought it was good. Rob Van Dam, even here, he's clearly his work in ECW stood the test of time. He clearly was the guy. Everyone else, you kind of like later on when I see Shane Douglas and some of these other guys, I'm like, why that wasn't a top guy. But Rob Van Dam had everything. He should have been. They gave him the TV title. They never put him in the world title position, and I think they were going to do that, and they went under. But man, he really had everything. He really had the total package. And he's another guy like Sluger that never got the ball. He never got to run with the ball. He always would pull it away from him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this match was really fun.
Yeah, they both had it. Both Lance Storm and Rob Van Dam. I give them both credit for that. Then, before our third match, Joey Style introduces Michinoku Pro. He goes, Michinoku Pro, if you guys want to know, the best way I could describe it is a combination of Japanese strong style and lucha libre, and that's what you guys are going to see, which was really nice. I like that they did this. They talked about it because it's introducing the crowd to what's going to happen.
Bro, this is something that AEW has never done. They paused the show to tell you we're about to see something different, and this is what it is. They don't just do, like, I remember when Minoru Suzuki, the Murder Grandpa, came out at, I think his first appearance was at one of the pay-per-views in 2021. The announcer just screamed his name like he's a character we've always seen. And I'm like, who is that? And the fans yelled at people on Twitter who didn't know who this old man was. And it's like, just pause and tell the audience we're going to see this. It pays off. How the fuck does this company with a $4 budget get that? And AEW after 5 years doesn't understand that. You
I
know?
agree. This is something that I think um this is something AEW needs to incorporate. And if I mean not WCW, if WWE, once they really start getting into the AAA stuff, they should do this every once in a while. You know, I think it's something that's just. I agree with you. This was very useful. I'm glad that ECW did this, and I would love to see it more happen more often, because this was a great introduction to this fantastic match we're gonna watch. This is a 6-man tag. We got the men representing not only Michinoku Pro, but they're representing, I guess, the Japanese extension of the Blue World Order, the BWO.
Yeah.
We got Taka Michinoku. You guys can probably recognize it from WWE,
We're
WWF.
going to see WWE very soon, by the way, on this journey. So.
Terry Boy, who is also Men's Tao, which is also, he was in Kayatai, I believe.
Yeah, it's basically Kaientai's wrestling. And
Yeah.
Dick to go.
And Dick to go, who's still wrestling to this day in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah,
is Taka Michinoku still wrestling or no?
Takamuchi, I think he is. I think he's like a freelancer for New Japan, but Dick Togo's there.
Did he wrestle in AEW, or did I imagine that? Did he like have one of those like you're supposed to know who this guy is matches for the AEW or no?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Now he's the guy Tony Khan should bring over.
Taka Michinoku? Yeah.
People know him. He's the guy who could just have him walk out and people would know him, you know?
WWE should bring him in for like one or two things.
WWE should put him in the Hall of Fame.
I think so. I think they should. And their opponents are going to be Masato Yakahiji, the Great Sasuke, and Gran Hamada, right? Those are their opponents. The fans.
By the way, really quick, I want to give you something. I don't know if you know this, but Jim Ross has revealed that the lightweight division in WWE, which wasn't created to counter WCW, was supposed to center around Great Sasuke, but he didn't want to stay in America a lot, and he wanted a lot of money, so they chose Taka Michinoku instead. That was their idea to center everything around Great Sasuke and make him like a superhero.
I think I watched. Speaking of Great Sasuke, did you guys? I think. Yeah, did you ever watch that match against him versus the Dirt Bike Kid?
No.
Okay. He has this match against this American like indie wrestler. His name's the Dirt Bike Kid in 1999. And the Dirt Bike Kid like doesn't sell for him or does something to piss him off. He starts shooting on the guy in the ring, like beats the shit out of him. Like I can understand the appeal of Great Sasuke. Yeah, he's not like if Jim Ross is saying that they were supposed to center the lightweight division around this guy, I totally buy that.
Well, he wrestled. By the way, he's at In Your House in July. He wrestles Taka Michinoku at that pay-per-view.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, and just letting you guys know, the only person in this match I don't really know anything about is Masato Yuka Shiji. I don't know.
I think that's everybody.
He's the guy who's wearing that green Power Ranger crap. Right?
Yeah. He's like he's probably a jobber. Who cares about
Yeah. Gran Hamada, by the way, he's gonna have a great career in Lucha Libre in Mexico. And his two daughters end up being wrestlers themselves. One of them, she ends up being in TNA. Do you remember her? Her name was Hamada. Like that was her name. You remember her in TNA?
Kind of. Yes, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's the only person I don't know is that Masato guy. Anyway, fans throw streamers because they're all fucking marks, and
but you know what? I even appreciate that more that they took the time out to say who they are because, yeah, the people ordering this probably do jerk off to fucking New Japan tapes in their basement, right? But even still, Paul Heyman's like, no, in case there's one new person watching, we got to tell you who these guys are. So I appreciate that even more. But yeah, the streamers were fucking fun.
Yeah, they did streamers, and then after they showed the respect to the wrestlers by throwing streamers, they start chanting Power Ranger after this guy.
Although, you know what I liked about this match too? It had a Japanese ref. It had like a ref from their company. I like that it wasn't like they just stuck some ECW ref in there. It made it feel like a proper showcase of, and it also made it was like a little touch that made this feel like an international event. Like this isn't just a fucking show happening on a shitty block where Ray Goots and Andrew Lee will one day do comedy for 4 people. This is fucking an international extravaganza, you know?
Okay. And here's the thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad they didn't put like John Finnegan, some ECW ref. If you recall, WWF did the same thing. Remember when they had that Lucha Libre match on like Royal?
Yeah. No, these are all good touches.
They had Pepe Casas, their referee. But the only problem was Pepe Casas was super fucking old, so he moved like shit. This referee is like not ancient, so he can move around a little bit. But let's get into this match. We got Gran Hamada and Taka Michinoku starting the match, and the BWO has the control early on until the Power Ranger character guy hits his Hurricanrana. This Power Ranger guy, even though I don't know him at all, he can move. He can do a lot of moves. And Styles during this match, he mentions, "Hey, you know, great Sasuke, who's in the ring right now, he actually fought Ultimo Dragon, which WCW incorrectly always calls Ultimate Dragon." And I was like, what a fucking dig. Such a petty thing to say, but
every now and then Joey Styles does like some like smart little like dig, and I don't know, it was good back then, but it kind of annoys me. It's like it just sounds like some idiot on Twitter, but it was funny for back then because nobody was talking like that. I was like nobody like that on TV.
It was very snarky and it made me laugh. So I'm like, yeah, I was okay with it. So anyway, BWO, they just keep maintaining control, and then they all pose on a triple team they do on Sasuke. Then they screw up a triple team move on Sasuke, which allows Sasuke to come hit him, start doing a comeback. Everybody starts hitting high flying moves, high power moves. Sasuke uses a chair and BW on the floor, and then hits Taka Michinoku with a power bomb and then a tiger suplex to win the match. After the match, Dick Togo and Gran Hamada, they just keep fighting afterwards, with Hamada winning the exchange against Dick Togo. This is a fun match. I gave this match another B. Off to a running start for this pay-per-view, in my opinion.
This match was This match was fucking fantastic. This is my favorite match on the show. This is a great, if you want to see, if you don't want to pay for New Japan World, but you want to see what Japan style light heavyweight wrestling was like in 1997, this is a great way to check it out. It's right on Peacock. This added a lot to the show. This added a lot of credibility to the show. I feel like if they didn't have this and they had like Nova wrestle like fucking Roadkill or some bullshit, it wouldn't. I feel the show would have greatly suffered. This really helped the show out.
Oh, well, the show is going to start greatly suffering.
I know. Yeah. That's why I needed this match.
Yeah, this was really, yeah, I did really enjoy this match. I think this probably was, I agree, the best match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, by far.
So, speaking of, you mentioned Nova, who's a member of the BWO. We got BWO leader Stevie Cool, big Stevie Cool, cutting a promo about being in the main event. This promo is in black and white, right? And Stevie's not really looking up. He's just looking down. His hair's all in his face. And he's talking about how like, this is the main event. He's worked so hard to get here. And it turns from black and white into color with him looking up. And he's like, I guess, looking at a mirror. And then the meanie shows up from behind with a little cameo. I like this promo. This was actually done very well, in my opinion.
I like, you know what I like? Because it's playing off the NWO in black and white. And then it's like, but it's like this guy believes in himself now. So now it's going to be color. It's like, I'm not ripping off WCW anymore. I'm going to, you take me seriously when I get in the ring, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like that. I like that. Paul, every now and then Paul Heyman does a little touch that like only Paul Heyman would think of. It's really good. And it plays off the fact, you know, when you watch this show, you're constantly aware that WWF and WCW are in the, you can't just lose yourself in this. You know, like you can watch WrestleMania 3 and forget that Nikita Koloff ever existed, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just get lost in the show. But I think Heyman does a very good job of using, and he did this with Austin, when Austin cut, of using this, we're going to constantly reference these companies, but turn it on its head to make the guy doing that get more over, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, which is smart, which is really smart. I think that's what
it's just FTR or MJF like WWF, I don't like it, and it doesn't really do anything. You know?
I think when you're number two, you shouldn't really do that. But I think when you're like number three and at the bottom, it's wise to do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I
Mhm.
think right now, if he was AEW, they shouldn't be doing things like that, referencing WWE, because that's when everybody will be like, "What the fuck? Why do you keep talking about it?" But you know who should be doing that, referencing both companies, is actually
Team.
TNA.
Yeah.
TNA would really benefit from that. And
Or
you know,
even NWA. Even NWA. Why not?
yeah, or even NWA, yeah. Man, this is gonna take a nosedive like the NWA.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to match number four. It is for the television title. Shane, the franchise, Shane Douglas, who is a television champion, with Francine and these biker, these his security guard, his bodyguards, who are all dressed up in biker gear with biker helmets. They come out and he starts cutting a promo about how he broke Gary Wolf's neck, and who's one of the pit bulls. And you see Gary Wolf sitting in the front row, and the show they actually show replays of the events leading up to why this match is happening, him breaking Gary Wolf's neck, and then when Gary Wolf had that brace on his neck, he jerked it around. Shane Douglas jerked it around. Everybody was like freaking out. And so Gary Wolf's tag team partner, Pitbull number two, is going to be challenging for this match. That's what this is. It's like a grudge match for the television title. So I don't know. You said you saw it on the DVD. Was music playing during the first few minutes of this match?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. The first few minutes of the match, they just have music playing the whole
The
time.
music thing is so he was using a lot of music without permission. The DVD, so he actually had some covers done of some songs that he was using. So like the Sandman's entrance to Motorhead doing Enter Sandman, not Metallica, is on the DVD. But I think some instances he cuts because doesn't have a cover of the song, and he can't legally sell. You know, the big thing about ECW is the music really made it. Like if we watch the bootleg of this, we'd have all the music, and I bet you the show was like 1,000 times better. But he put himself in a bad position because you have to heavily edit all these shows to re-show them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Oh, by the way, really quick, did you hear Joey Styles? I thought this made the company look like shit. Say that Gary Albright bought a ticket to sit in the front row. I'm like, you guys couldn't comp him. He had to go buy a ticket. He had to like go to the box office and be like, "Hi, can I get a ticket for ECW really legal?" Like he went and bought it. Like
Gary Wolf, not Gary Albright.
yeah, Gary Albright also bought a ticket. Oh, and also yeah,
Gary
all the
Albright had more talent than
Gary
Gary Wolf.
Peter also bought a ticket. But bro, like I don't know why that made the company seem so cheap. That this guy got injured and then he had to go buy a ticket. Like you couldn't like just let him go in. Like it's one
Yeah.
thing when it's a heel and like the outsiders like, oh, we bought a ticket, we get there because they're bad guys and they don't want him in the building. This is a guy who got injured on the job and he's like, I want to be there, and they're like, all right, we have to buy a ticket.
Yeah. So these guys start wrestling, and then Pitbull number two hits a couple of low blows on Shane, and we get a break his neck chance as Pitbull number two is in charge, and then we get she's got herpes chance at Francine when Shane is in charge. That's such a great chant. She's got herpes. Shane jumps into Pitbull's arms. This I hated this spot. So Shane does this thing where he's on the second turnbuckle and he's like supposed to jump onto Pitbull, but Pitbull's stronger, right? So he catches him, and then he just slowly starts walking backwards with Shane in his arms, and Shane has to like not react. He just has to like let this next move happen. But it's so fucking slow, and it's like halfway across the ring. You could easily just punch them on the head and just got
Bro,
out of it.
I hated this match. I
Yeah.
hated this match. I don't know why. This is your biggest show. And I never met anyone who likes the Pitbulls. Maybe they were over. I don't know. Why you have one half of a tag team wrestle supposedly the franchise, your top guy. After this match, I wanted Shawn Michaels to call Shane Douglas at home, be like, you know what? I was right about you. Goodbye.
I was
I
right
just
about
said
everything.
I was right about everything.
Anyway, so picture this. Pitbull holding, he's like bear hugging Shane, and he's walking very slowly backwards. And Shane has to act like he doesn't know what to do. And then they go backwards and they go over the top rope. He dumps Shane Douglas over the top ropes through a table. It's such a dumb spot. You could see it happening like a mile away, and Shane just lets it happen. Then Gary Wolf, who's remember now Shane's on the floor, right? Because he went through his table. So Gary Wolf, he hops the guardrail and he starts attacking Shane Douglas. And those biker guard guys, they have to like stop him and they escort him out. And the crowd is very quiet. Like they don't give a fuck. They're not super hot for this, like the other matches. They're very quiet. And then Pitbull number 2, he brings in, he throws one of the guardrails into the ring. And then we get a "We Want Blood" chant as they screw up a railing spot. And then Pitbull gets dumped out the ring. And then Shane Douglas throws the guardrail down from the ring to the floor. Shane hits Pitbull with weak-looking chair shots himself. Joey Styles says, Shane Douglas is the franchise. And he goes, and this part pissed me off. Okay, because like, this is exactly what you're saying. Why, if this guy is the franchise, why is he fighting this tag team guy? So this is not Ray's words. This is the company's words. Joey Styles on commentary, he says Shane Douglas is the real franchise. Unlike this crappy guy who wears white face paint and just hovers around the fucking rafters. He's shitting all over.
Yeah, why are you shitting on Sting? Nobody disliked
Sting is often referred to as the franchise for WCW.
That, but it's right? Like the minute you tell me about Sting, you're like, yeah, you're right. Sting is way better than this guy. Like Sting, like Shane Douglas. I don't know what you think of him as a worker. I'll say this right now: Sting is a better worker than this fucking guy by far.
You know what's even funnier? What's funnier is right after Joey Styles is finished telling us that Shane is a franchise and he shits all over Sting, we get boring chants from the crowd. The crowd boring.
How many shows have we seen in a row where the entire building is screaming, "We want Sting"? Like it's been 5 months of "We want Sting," and this guy, it's just so fucking tone deaf. It's like it'd be one thing if like people are like, "We're sick of Sting" or something, or like nobody. Dude, the people are foaming at the mouth for Sting right now in 1997. That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. So the crowd we're not the only ones who hated this match. The crowd hates this match. The crowd chanting "She's a whore," more boring chants. I did like
Joey Styles when they started saying "She's a whore." He just paused and goes like, "I guess her fan club's here or something." Like I think.
So Francine, by the way, she gives something to Shane Douglas, and I guess it's like a roll of quarters or some shit. And then he hits Pitbull number 2 with it, and then he breaks a particle board on Pitbull, and he hits him with a chair. But none of this stuff can put him away. He keeps kicking out. Then Shane gets the ring bell and he uses the bell. Fans are booing. Nobody cares about these kickouts. Nobody's like, these aren't hot kickouts. Every time Pitbull number 2 is getting hit with one of these weapons, and Shane goes for the cover and he kicks out, there's no reaction. There's no reaction at all.
That sucks. And that sucks. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Pitbull starts firing back. Shane Douglas hits Pitbull with some weak bell shots.
Pitbull towards the end of the match, Pitbull looks exhausted. His punches are barely landing. He starts punching Shane. Looks like a cat playing with a ball. Like this guy can't go anymore after. It's horrible idea to put this guy, Pitbull number 2, in this situation on paper.
And Pitbull number 2 starts no selling everything. Like he gets hit with like he just gets up and everything, and he's in control of the match. Then Shane, he even hits Shane, like Shane hits him with a chair and he like no sells it, and he gets the chair and he hits Shane with his own chair. And then so Pitbull number 2, he's been hit with a ring bell. He's been hit with the title belt, the TV title. He's been hit with the chair, and none of it's putting him away. In fact, he gets up at like 1 count. All of a sudden, Chris Candido is on the apron, distracting Pitbull number 2, which allows Shane Douglas to hit a belly to belly suplex to finally put Pitbull number 2 away and win the match. So this guy, chair shots to the head, ring bells to the head, don't take him out, but a belly to belly takes him out.
Yeah, because Shane Douglas, when he hits the belly to belly, that's like the devastating. He's the greatest wrestler in the world. He knows how to do it, even though it looks like shit. It looks like he's barely connecting. You don't understand. He's so good at wrestling that he killed Pitbull number 2 with that belly to belly.
Yeah. Then Shane McMahon, not Shane McMahon. Shane.
I wish Shane McMahon would show up here.
I wish Shane McMahon was there. Shane Douglas, he gets in the microphone and he's like, "It's howdy doody time." I don't know whatever the fuck that means. And he goes, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that. What does that mean?
I think it meant something, but I don't know what it means. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, and then
you know what, Shane Douglas. Yeah, people say Triple H ripped off Shane Douglas, and I agree because Shane Douglas's whole gimmick was, I'm actually a mediocre wrestler, but I'm just gonna tell you how great I am, and you're gonna fucking believe it. And that's what Triple H basically has done. Like Triple H,
yeah, but he actually was successful with it.
He was successful at brainwashing you, but that was Shane's original thing because there is no way that fucking they all think Shane Douglas is good. This guy is mediocre at best, and everything.
Yeah, and he goes, "I want Francine in this ring," and all of a sudden, Rick Rude comes out with a mask on, and he goes into the ring and he kisses Francine, and this pisses off Shane Douglas, who unmasks the guy, and it's not Rick Rude, it's Brian Lee. And Rick Rude is actually one of the biker bodyguards, and they both beat up Shane Douglas, which actually gets your first good reaction from the crowd. That was the only thing that actually got the best reaction from this whole match. This whole thing was this match was over 20 minutes long. This was the longest match on this pay-per-view. This was awful. It was a D. I gave it a D. It was that bad.
This was a disaster. This was a major mistake. Major mistake. I don't know. I don't know why they thought this was a good. There has to be we were watching the show in 1996, and maybe there's well, you understand, this guy was over. The guy couldn't hang in the ring, especially on my pay-per-view. I will say I have this theory, and I think I'm right because we're never going to see it happen. There's an alternate reality where Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior do a double turn in WWF in 1991, and Rick Rude becomes the next big thing. I think Rick Rude left money on the table not being a face. I think that he would have unlocked I think you could have made him like a PI or something, like one of those bad boy, he could have been a bad boy good guy. I don't know, there's something there with him as a good guy, but they never went down that road, and then he died 2 years from now. So
yeah, he should have. I think he should have stayed in WWF. It would have been better.
Well,
for him.
Vince was he claims he wanted to get off the steroids. Vince wouldn't let him. I don't know how much that was true, but I think he had potential as a face, but he never did it.
I think so too. Do you remember a couple of years ago, maybe 2022, 2023, I went to go see a show in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, an indie show. It was called at Mecca, and they said they had Shane Douglas versus Gary Wolf, and they were like, "This is one of the greatest rivalries in of all time in wrestling." That's how they built it. Of all time. They said this is one of the greatest rivalries of wrestling of all time.
It's even the greatest rivalry on this fucking show.
Yeah. I will say this though. A couple of years ago when I watched Gary Wolf versus Shane Douglas at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, it was better than this match. It was 100% better than this match.
I also think, I also think with a lot of these guys, this is the Godwins have been on live TV every week. So they're not nervous about live. They're not that good, but they're not nervous about being on live TV. They're always on live TV. These guys are never on live TV. And I think, and this is live pay-per-view. This is live. People paid money for this. And I think that might have gotten a lot of these guys nervous because this is a big thing. And Heyman's telling them this is a big thing. And if they fuck up, which they did, they fuck up, it could fuck the company. So I think there's a lot of more nerves. Where I think we take for granted that like Henry Godwin has been on live TV constantly. He doesn't affect. He's maybe the match is not good, but he's not nervous because he's on live TV. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So after this, we have Raven sitting on the steps in the back somewhere cutting a promo that, to me, in my honest opinion, it was a shitty promo. I didn't like it at all.
All his promos are the same. He's like Bray Wyatt. Listen, I know we have to pretend Bray Wyatt was the greatest wrestler of all time, but it's basically just nonsense with a spooky lighting. That's all it is. Like just fucking mushroom. They probably took mushrooms right before I wrote down their promos, and it's just like it leads to nothing. It actually has no substance. Garbage.
Yeah. And then we have Taz with Bill Alfonso. They're cutting a promo on Sabu, and they go, Sabu, like, what do you think you're gonna do? How are you gonna survive? And they run down a list of all of Taz's victims, like Bam Bam Bigelow. That was pretty cool. And it's gonna lead to our fifth match. It is Taz with Bill Alfonso versus Sabu.
This was the most anticipated match on the show, by the way.
Yeah,
that I can tell you.
he just appears out of nowhere and he just starts and they just stare at each other for a while, and then they start slapping each other. Taz hits a crossface really hard, and he busts Sabu's nose, and Sabu like rolls out the ring, and you could tell he's fucking annoyed because this happens so early in the match. Like this fucking guy already fucked my nose up, and it's like a minute into the match.
By the way, after Sabu died, I don't know if you or anybody listening is interested. I'm going to listen to it on my podcast feed when it gets to it. But Conrad put out for free for everybody Taz and Sabu watching this match and commenting on it. I haven't watched it yet, but if you want to watch it and see what Sabu and Taz thought, he put it out for free after Sabu died. So I think it's on.
I didn't. Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. So Sabu's nose is busted, and he's annoyed. So he sends Taz out into the crowd on the and then Sabu launches himself from the ring to Taz in the crowd, and they start fighting to the crowd. They return back to the ring, and then Sabu throws a chair at Taz's face. Taz drops Sabu face first onto the chair, and then Taz suplexes Sabu over the guardrails into the fans, and then he orders Team Taz to adjust the table so that, hey, adjust the table so that I can put Sabu on it. And however, Sabu sets Taz on the table, and then he tries to do a DDT, but Taz pushes off, sending Sabu through the table. But that doesn't do anything. That table, because Sabu starts coming back, firing back. Sabu puts Taz on his. He starts doing Taz's own moves onto Taz, but then Taz hits more suplexes, and then he hits his Taz mission to win the match. After he wins the match, Taz is on the microphone. He starts giving Sabu respect. I respect you, Sabu. And then he starts shitting on some rude fans, and he goes, like, who wants to see us shake hands? He says, basically. And then they shake hands, and Sabu raises Taz's arm, and they hug. And then Rob Van Dam comes in, and he starts attacking Taz from behind. And then both Sabu and Rob Van Dam, they start both beating up Taz. Sabu does like a crappy springboard to put Taz through a table, and then he chokes out Taz. Bill Alfonso's in the ring, and then he takes off his shirt to reveal that he has a Sabu shirt on the whole time, which makes no sense to me because he let Taz win.
Right? Did you hear his promo? His promo is, I put a lot of money on you, Taz, or something like, and I lost the money or something. Like, wait a minute, you put money on Taz? How did you lose? Like, dude, yeah. Why wouldn't he just have like let Taz interfere?
Yeah, so he puts on this super Sabu. He really has a Sabu shirt on. He cuts this promo on Taz that makes no sense. But yeah, like you said, he lost money, but Taz won. Like Taz just won. Like I don't understand. What did you put money on him in a different match? Like I don't fucking understand. And if you were mad that you put money on him in a different match and he lost, why did you let him win this match?
But also, if you have money that Sabu wins, why didn't you help Sabu win? Like, at any given point, you could have just like, there's no, you could probably fucking stab Taz.
Either way, there's no logic. It doesn't make any sense. This is stupid. This was stupid, and the only thing saving this match from being as stupid as it was that we just saw a stupider match with Shane Douglas. And because of that, I gave this a C and not a D.
This match was built up for a while. Fans were really excited about this feud. We don't really. I never got it. I never got the appeal. I mean, WWE. This is the only ECW rivalry that WWE made a DVD, the 50 greatest rivalries of all time. This is on there, like pretty high up. I don't get it. Maybe if I watched the weekly shows, I would get it. Maybe if I don't think these guys have any chemistry. I don't understand. I'll tell you the moment where it's like these guys just don't have it. And at this point, at least, is the chokeout. The chokeout is so rushed, and they so are just like going through the motions compared to Bret Hart and Austin, because basically it's the same. It's the same fucking finish. And even like brawling through the crowd. We just saw Austin and Bret brawl through the crowd, and we just saw Macho and DDP brawl through the crowd. And I know you don't like the Macho DDP match, but this is such a subpar version of those two brawling sequences in the crowd. The camera's not on it. They're not really hitting as hard. I don't know, man. A lot of this was bad. And I'll tell you the other thing, and this is really going to affect our lives. I know I talk about Sonny Ono. Bill Alfonso is just as bad, if not worse. And I'll tell you what makes him even worse. And I don't know why they allowed him to do this. They allowed him to do this till the bitter end. I'm talking like the last show that ECW ever puts on. The fucking whistle. He whistles throughout all the match. And this is supposed to be, you want to get lost. You want to get invested in this grudge match between these two like bitter rivals. And all you keep hearing is this fucking whistle. And it takes you out of the match. And I fell asleep to ECW a few years ago. And I got a headache in my sleep. And I'm like, and I just kept hearing this noise. And then I realized I woke up from Bill Alfonso's whistle during like RVD versus Jerry Lynn or somebody, right? On the show I had on. And then I'm lying in bed, like in and out of sleep. And I'm like, this guy just blows his whistle for 20 fucking minutes. How did we put up with this? And how
it's more annoying than Jimmy Hart's megaphone, you know?
Because Jimmy Hart takes a break. This guy just goes nonstop. And it's like, why did nobody put a stop to this? It fucking ruins. It ruined the match. And he doesn't even do it as much as he's going to do it when RVD. And all of RVD's great matches, like his great like 5-star matches, this fucking guy's blown a whistle the entire match. I don't understand. I don't understand why we allowed this. How was Paul Heyman not arrested?
In the Greatest Rivalries DVD, did they explain why Bill Alfonso turned on Taz?
Like, no, I should watch this thing. Maybe they explained it in the Conrad's look back.
Explained it, yeah. You see, he lost money when
Taz lost. Taz won. So he lost money.
Oh my god, it was so stupid.
So did he always have the Sabu shirt on in case Taz pissed him off? And what if Sabu and RVD is like, we don't want you here? Like,
exactly, it's so stupid, and it was like.
But here's the thing. So let's say Sabu and Bill Alfonso are in cahoots. Like weeks ago, they're like, I'm going to turn. Why? If I was Sabu, like, why didn't you do that while I was in the match? Why did you wait till after I lost? Like,
yeah.
Like how?
Can you imagine the conversation they're having in the back? Sabu and like Bill Alfonso, and Bill Alfonso like, yeah, brother, what I'm gonna do is like I'll turn on Taz and I'm gonna join you. And he goes, oh, cool. Sabu's like, cool, and you're gonna help me win the match? No. I'm not gonna help you win the match. But afterwards, I'm gonna join your team. And he goes, okay, yeah, I'm cool with you being my manager and teaming with me. But can you at least help me win the match? Nah, brother, I can't do that. I can't help you win the match. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
wait till after you get choked out.
I'm gonna let you get choked out. Yeah, I'm gonna let you get choked out, but I'm gonna wear your T-shirt under my other shirt. That's just as good as helping you in the match. It's so stupid.
He'll never see it coming after he beats you.
Yeah. The whole point is it coming, yeah.
Then, you know.
Wait, if you don't want to help me win the match, why do you want to be my manager? Because I lost a lot of money on Taz.
When? Well, I bet that you would win. Well, then why don't you just help me win?
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
It makes no sense. Oh my God.
Tad's gonna cost you a lot of money because he's gonna beat you. Okay, well then why don't you help me beat him? Nah, bro, that's not how it works here.
It's so
I'm just gonna blow
stupid.
my whistle.
Dude, you know
So
like
what if Sabu won? Would he have still like turned on Taz? Like,
yeah, I know. That's another question. So maybe what if Sabu won, then would he
what if
have never
Sabu just
turned
beats
on
the shit
Taz?
out of Taz? He's
Yeah,
like,
that makes no sense. And um so stupid. You know what's funny too is like how nobody in ECW, none of the fans, they're the smart fans, right? But none of them booed this shitty storyline.
no, they
Like
love this. By the way, I people said that they just what a twist. It's great, it's so good.
the smart wrestling fans, what a twist! I was wondering when he was going to turn on him. You know, he lost a lot of money on Taz. You know that, right, guys? That's why he had to
This
turn
is storytelling that WWE doesn't have. It's fucking Dave Meltzer. I don't know if he had a podcast, but you know why that is, right? You know why that is. It's because you guys got to pay attention because if you also watch the New Jersey Indies, Taz, Sabu, and Belafonso, like
I
you must
almost
have watched
owe
every indie.
I almost owe Tony Khan an apology because I'm like none of his storylines are as dumb as this one. This one was
And
so
this is supposedly a legendary match. Yeah, this is also not a good match. Not good at all.
so we're gonna go to our penultimate match or second to last match. Before the match, Joey Styles welcomes Tommy Dreamer to join the commentary team. He's
Tommy
got
Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer is the worst color. Did you hear him play? He goes, "Don't talk to me. I'm trying to watch the match." Like, why are you on
Tommy Dreamer,
commentary then?
Tommy Dreamer was awful in commentary. He was awful.
He's like,
Uh,
"Don't talk to me."
comes out with,
What? I don't know why you're talking to me, Joey. You don't understand I'm an athlete. Why are you in the commentary booth, you fucking idiot? You're here to
yeah, so stupid. Beulah joins him, and she gets a "Show Your Tits" chant from the crowd. They are divorced now, right?
Yeah. My friend said he got a new wife or something. He does not post. I did not see. So Tommy Dreamer, because TNA still suspension. By the way, true or false? Tommy Dreamer wrestled in TNA in 2025. True or false?
Ooh, yes, he did.
Yeah, of
True.
course. Well, you need, yeah, true, twice. You need him to wrestle. I mean, otherwise, how's this company going to grow unless Tommy Dreamer in 2025 is having matches? But Tommy Dreamer's whole family sat in front of me. But the last TNA show I went to in upstate New York with Johnny McDonald, I did
Mm-hmm.
not see Beulah, and supposedly he has like a black wife now. I did not see that either. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just saw his daughters and some random women, but I did not see Beulah. So I don't
They're
know what
saying that they're
happened.
still married.
What?
They're saying that they're still married.
I heard that she left him. He was cheating on her. I don't know.
I'll be interested. Ooh, wait a minute. Uh-oh.
But
I think I know the black woman that he's dating now.
who is it?
Monica Dupree, aka the original Gata.
Oh.
Um,
Well, we'll talk. Listen. We got a lot of time to talk about Tommy Dreamer.
oh, yeah, yeah. They got engaged. Tommy Dreamer and this lady, they got engaged this year.
Oh, good. Is she pretty? Is she
Oh,
pretty for him?
no, she is not as pretty as Beulah, but
Nobody,
she's younger. She's clearly younger.
no,
Yeah.
but no, nobody was as pretty as Beulah, man. Beulah is one of the reasons I want to watch. I remember like they had her on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I was like, this is the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in wrestling. Like I couldn't believe how beautiful
Yeah.
she had a good look.
Gorgeous in this. She's gorgeous on this
Yeah,
pay-per-view. Yeah.
she. I'm really shocked Vince never did anything with her, man, because she she has two matches that aren't that bad. One with Francine and one with Bill Alfonso. So
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
it looks like, according to her thing, they have been dating for a decade. They have been dating for a decade, and they got engaged May 27th, not 20 of this year, 2025. So they started dating 2015. If
I
they've been
guess.
for a
I
decade,
know
that's
Beulah. I
crazy.
think Beulah was so he like when he leaves WWF, he loses to Zack Ryder on like one of the last ECW episodes, and I think she's in the crowd. So she was there still in 2009. I think she's on. I gotta go back and watch that episode because they let him give a speech. Like he gives one of the he's the king of like goodbye speeches when he's not going anywhere. Yeah. The motherfucker gave
Wow,
more goodbye.
this lady is crazy because I think he put out I think it's a press release about her, and she talked about being in a relationship with him while he was married to Beulah McGillicuddy, Trisha Hayes. She
Beulah deserves better. Hopefully she got a
dude, Beulah
nice.
deserves better. Wow, she has 10 children.
All right, I don't need. This is depressing. You know, poor
This
Beulah
is
had.
depressing. Yeah, yeah.
Let, let,
This is
let's fo- let's
depressing.
focus. Let's focus on this match. Come on, let's go. Here we go. By the
God,
way,
this is
do they show Sandman's entrance on Peacock? Because they have it on the Blu-ray, but I'm sorry, on the DVD. But they have Motorhead's Enter Sandman, not Metallica's.
Oh, I mean, they just had him come out. I didn't really pay attention to that.
Okay,
I was distracted by the "Show Your Tits" chant from the crowd.
okay, well that's good.
Yeah. Oh wait, like, we talk about Sandman. Yeah, I forgot. But anyway, we're
Let's
gonna
keep going.
go to our six matches, a three-way number one contenders dance. Okay, so Big Stevie Cool with the BWO come out, and he's gonna be facing Sandman, who's already busted open because he fucking busted himself up.
I
Um,
used to love that.
yeah, and he's smoking a cigarette before he gets in the ring. He has a cigarette the whole time, and then he just has pulls out another beer can from his pocket, which I love. Versus Terry Funk. And Tommy Dreamer, they let us know Tommy Dreamer gave up his spot in this match, Terry Funk, because Terry Funk deserved it. And
Mhm.
then Sandman, he offers Terry Funk beer, and then he spits on Stevie Ray. Sandman offers to after he spits on Stevie Ray and he start fighting, offers to he goes, "Hey, let's double team up on Terry Funk." And then he instead double crosses Stevie Ray and he back suplexes him instead. That gets a big pop from the crowd. That was actually a cool spot. We get four Hangman's Neckbreakers by Terry Funk to Stevie Ray, and then Terry Funk gets hit by a ladder that gets tossed into the ring by the Sandman. Funk misses a moonsault off the ladder to Stevie, who sells it anyways, and then Sandman hits Stevie with a ladder. Um, Terry Funk hits everybody with that spinning ladder attack thing.
That's a famous spot. It's been used in a lot of like montages and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, he is 53 years old, by the way, in this match.
Mhm.
53 years old in this
He
match.
moves, he moves better, he moves better than John Cena right now. John Cena should
Yeah,
be ashamed he can't move like Terry Funk could move
yeah.
in the match.
Stevie, he ends up hitting both of them with Stevie kicks, and then they do a few very weak looking the seesaw ladder spot. They look terrible, and then Sandman he tosses a trash can onto into the ring that hits Terry Funk in the head. Sandman does like a top rope ladder seesaw that misses Stevie completely, and he hits himself with it. That was a funny looking spot.
Hmm.
And then Funk and Sandman they double power bomb Stevie Ray, and they both cover him, so Stevie's out, first one out. And then Terry Funk he pulls like Sandman's shirt over his head, hockey fights with him, and then he whips a barbed wire onto Sandman's bare back. Then Sandman he puts on barbed wire all over himself, and he does like a crappy leg drop off the top rope. Uh, and when he does this, you hear one fan go, "Boo!" Stevie comes back, and even though he's been eliminated, he comes back and he super kicks a trash can that's on Sandman, and then Terry Funk hits a moonsault to win the match. Right after he wins, Raven comes out and he goes like, "That's it. The title match begins right now," and he hit Terry Funk with it. But before we get into the final match of what did you think about this three-way dance? Because I did not like it. I gave it a C minus. It was not a good match.
Even as a kid, when I heard about the show, I'm like, why is Stevie Richards in there? And I'll stand by that. Maybe this would be the only time I would give a compliment to Tommy Dreamer. Might have been a better match if he was in it. with Sandman and Terry Funk. But also Sandman can't wrestle that well. Terry Funk kind of had to carry it, and these two guys just aren't good enough. It was whatever. Look, I'll say this about this whole sequence. Terry Funk deserved to win the belt. He's a legend. He's 53, and it was a feel-good ending. It was like it was like Hulk Hogan for them, for the ECW. It's like Hulk Hogan hitting Andre the Giant. So it's a feel-good moment. Does it hold up as a match? No, no. But this is people love the Sandman, people love Terry Funk, and I guess they loved the BWO back then, so they had a good time. So
yeah. All right, so let's go to our final match for the ECW World Title. Raven, the champion, versus Terry Funk, who just won. Drop toe hold on the chair, and then Terry Funk. This is the part where Joey Styles starts talking to him, and Tommy Dreamer's like, "I'm sorry, I just can't do commentary. I just want to watch this match." What a stupid
I
thing.
wish Joey Styles said, "Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing?" Dude, they should recreate that in WWF. Or AEW. I think it would be a funny
It would be really funny.
And
Yeah.
then like Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, and Nigel McGuinness goes, "Don't talk to me," and then Tony just goes off on him. Like, why are you here? Then? You fucking idiot! Like, get out of the booth, you fuck. I don't know. It was just really funny. And Joey Styles goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like he interrupted.
You can't watch and talk at the same time.
And also, you know what? Joey Styles has been talking nonstop for 3 hours. Again, this is live. No one's ever done what Joey Styles did on the show beforehand, or probably even since. He's talked on live TV for 3 hours. You can't put someone in that booth that can give him a little bit of a break. Like you can't put someone like you could be like, "Give me your thoughts on Terry Funk," and the guy can rattle off. Like maybe they thought it'd be like, "Oh, Tommy Dreamer's so invested." It makes him look like an idiot. Then don't sit in the booth. You could have just sat in the back and watched the match. You know?
Yeah, I agree. So Terry Funk is busted now. He's bleeding. He bleeds a lot. And fans are now chanting for Tommy. And doc has to come in and check up on Terry Funk because he's bleeding so much as Raven just keeps beating on him. Raven dumps a table onto Terry Funk, and then Raven does a corkscrew splash onto Terry Funk through the table, and he also knocks out the doctor. Reggie Bennett, who is that?
She was in the flock. She was she was the female. We were talking about her LPWA Super Lady Showdown, the female pay-per-view we covered. We thought she really stood out. Big powerhouse.
Oh, yeah. I remember her.
How good that show. That was a good. By the way, guys, not only is our pay-per-view, our podcast episode about that still up, but that's still on YouTube. If you want a solid show of women's wrestling, go to YouTube and put LPWA Super Lady Showdown. Go check that out.
Yeah, and if you want to listen to our cover of it, our review of it, it's up there as well.
Yeah, you forgot because I got excited for Reggie Bennett and you forgot about her.
I forgot about her, but yeah, now that you mentioned that, I do remember that. Reggie Bennett's there. She hits a terrible looking power driver on Terry Funk, and a whole bunch of grunge looking dudes come out. Raven gets in the microphone and he starts addressing Tommy Dreamer and he says, "Tommy, I'm going to end Terry Funk's career here, right now." And Tommy Dreamer finally stands up. And then when he stands up, Big Dick Dudley comes from behind and hits Tommy Dreamer with a can. And then Raven kicks and DDTs the referee in the ring. Remember, this is Tommy Dreamer still up by the commentary stage area. And then Tommy Dreamer, he needs to fight back through Big Dick Dudley, and he does like a crappy looking choke slam on Dick through the table onto the where the fans are, and there's a big ECW chant. And I'm like, that's a shitty looking choke slam. Why are you guys chanting ECW for that? It looks terrible. This is the thing. I noticed about this match. I like this crowd a lot, but they cheer some stupid fucking things too.
Well, because this is the first time, and we're seeing this with WCW and WWF fans weren't like this. This is the first time where they know, these fans all know that this company needs this pay-per-view to be successful, right? So they're like almost like employees. Like they know, like if they like don't pop for anything for 3 hours, if they treat this show like the piece of garbage it is, it's gonna hurt the company. So they are like, Tommy Dreamer could have like farted on him and they would have chanted ECW because they want they all want this company. They're like, no, we have to make them look good. This is the first time. There's never been like this like awareness of the fans. Now we have it. Now, like, the AEW fans are obsessed with the ratings and they're obsessed with the demos. That didn't exist back then. Like, if WCW stunk and you saw it, people just stopped watching. They weren't like, I gotta make sure that people really believe in WCW. They would just, and same with WWF. Oh, this show's garbage. I'll watch something else. But these people were like, I need ECW to survive, and I'm gonna do what I can. So even if you fuck up the choke slam, I'm gonna chant ECW. By the way, though, I do like the idea. I do like the concept of action happening in the commentary booth all the way up high and action happening in the ring. I like the idea of chaos all throughout the building. You know?
I do too, and I actually like that the commentary booth is high up.
Yes.
Like it's not like low, it's in a high area because if you're gonna do this thing where you need to have some kind of action happen at the commentary area, it needs to be high up for people to be able to see it. You know? So I did like that it's like in an area where it's high up there.
Also, I like what I like about the commentary being so separated from the action is that if the rest, because these matches are so chaotic, you don't have to constantly worry about the announcer getting in the middle. He can kind of be like separated from everything, so he can kind of say and do what he wants, and it's not like fucking Sabu could throw a chair at his head, or something.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So Tommy Dreamer, after he puts Big Dick through the table, he starts making his way to the ring, and he DDTs Raven, and then Terry Funk makes the cover, which gets a very close 2 count. And then Terry Funk hits an inside cradle to win the match. After he wins the match, Tommy Dreamer gives Terry Funk the belt, and they start celebrating in the crowd. I did not like this match. This was not a good main event. I gave it a C.
Yeah, Raven can't. Yeah, nothing was good after the Michinoku Pro match.
Yeah,
Nothing was,
yeah. It takes a serious nosedive. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's like yes, but almost Terry Funk's a better worker than John Cena is right now. But it's more about letting people be happy than putting on good matches. But yeah, I say watch the show for historical purposes, but don't watch it if you want to watch good wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's I would say Spring Stampede was a better show. We haven't even seen Revenge of
Ooh,
Taker.
yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think right now. Was Spring Stampede a better show?
I think it was.
Spring Stampede did have a lot of garbage matches as well, but overall, it didn't have that Shane Douglas versus Pitbull #2 match. So I'm gonna give it a Spring Stampede as well.
Yeah, I know you didn't like the DDP Macho Man. The thing about it is, so much of the Taz Sabu match reminded me of DDP Macho Man and Bret Hart Austin. And number one, you shouldn't have structured like Bret Hart Austin because that's the greatest match of all time. But number two, even the fact that DDP Macho wasn't that good, it's still miles ahead of Sabu Taz. And Sabu Taz is supposed to be like the match everybody was dying to see and everybody like loves. So that to me is like, all right, Macho Man and DDP are just better at this ECW thing. So
yeah. All right. We still have one more pay-per-view to go in April.
But so far the ranking for April is first place Spring Stampede, second place ECW. We'll see what we don't know where Revenge of. So let's go over the next 4 weeks. You ready, Andrew Lee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week it's In Your House, Revenge of Taker. The main event is Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. In 2 weeks, it's In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell. The main event of that is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker. In 3 weeks, it's Slamboree 97. The main event of that is the NWO versus Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and Kevin Green. And then in 4 weeks, it's King of the Ring 97. And the main event of that is Farouk versus Undertaker. So what are you looking forward to, brother?
King of the Ring 97, actually. That sounds interesting.
That's a pretty good show from what I remember. I've only seen it once, but I remember it being good. Revenge, I never saw Cold Day in Hell, Revenge of Taker. It sounds like a good show because the two main matches are Mankind versus Undertaker and Bret versus Steve Austin. But I remember it not being that good. But maybe I'm wrong. You never can go wrong with Steve Austin and Bret Hart in the ring together. So maybe
that is true.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. I'm Andrew. I gotta say, I am excited that ECW is now in the mix. I like the fact that we just go to it every now and then. But it's gonna be fun to talk about some of these ECW guys. And I had, even though the show stunk, I enjoyed talking about it with you. I don't know how you feel, but
Yeah, no, I like that there is a third one. I wish they would actually do, another pay-per-view sooner. But then, like, they're gonna do it in August. But
they don't have the money to do it every month. So
yeah, but they also need to bring it more next time, I would say. But yeah,
by the way,
it's
so on
it's
TikTok,
good.
we did post about Steve Austin and Bret Hart. And we talked about, and on the clip in the TikTok, I talked about with you how Steve Austin, I just want to address some, so that way people interact with us more. I did address that Steve Austin is the reason why Nick Khan has his house 30 years later. If you guys remember that episode 2 weeks ago. And we got 2 comments. One guy wrote facts, so he agrees with us. And another guy, I got to like start reading these, but I'll do it next. Another guy was like, yeah, but actually it's Shawn. One guy said, well, actually Shawn Michaels did it, because if Shawn Michaels didn't drop the belt to Steve Austin wouldn't become that big after WrestleMania 14. So you have to give all the credit to Shawn Michaels. And I'm like, bro, Shawn Michaels didn't have a fucking say in whether or not he was dropping Steve Austin in WrestleMania 14. All right, he was like what we unless you think wrestling is real and you think that like because Steve Austin was able to overcome Shawn Michaels had anyone could have had that belt at WrestleMania 14. All they just needed a body for Austin to pin. So
No, yeah, this guy. There's some fans who fucking love Shawn Michaels and are like, dude, he wasn't that good. Trust me.
But I'm just saying that, like,
why were their fucking ratings so bad?
Let's say Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels leave in '97. Then you just need Farouk. You put Farouk, you put Mankind, you put Vader, you put Ken Shamrock, you put somebody in that ring for Austin to pin. That's all you needed.
Yeah, that's true. Was it was Mike Tyson, by the way. That was real.
Yeah, that was the real thing. But I'm just saying that, like,
so it didn't have to be Shawn Michaels. You already had Austin. It was Austin and Mike Tyson, right? Those two, right?
It could have been Vader.
It could have been Undertaker. It could have been anybody, right? It could have been Owen Hart.
Someone needed to hold the belt so Austin could pin them for it. That's all.
I agree. 100% agree with you.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? We got a lot more Austin talk next week. Keep the comments coming on TikTok. I'll be posting a new one very soon about Spring Stampede. And, hey, listen, we got some TikTok fans. We're young, so we deserve it. So we'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much.